Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious. Back in the bunker. Purple State Party. About 100 degrees in here. Got my jacket on. Got my sippy cup. Got some leftover fireworks stuff. There we go. That's fun. That's a good way to kick off the show. Probably scared the heck out of everybody who was outside. So, let's just jump right into this, Week in review, critique the week here. So, I guess we're going to start with, something that just blew up, man. This is the kind of like the end days right here. Where like either A is going to break or B is going to break. Something's going to break because it's just getting stupid now. I mean, right here you see it, Goya, CEO says we're truly blessed to have, President Trump, and Latinos are now boycotting. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I've heard a lot of people like gripe and complain about it, but a lot of times these things are just words. They're not actions. But when did we become so soft that we can't even abide by somebody disagreeing with our viewpoint? It's just a viewpoint. I mean, that's what the guy believes. What? Is he right or is he wrong? It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just an opinion. It's just, it really makes you just wonder, like, why, everybody feels like the second somebody says something they don't like, we just gotta go straight to cancel. Gotta boycott them. Why? I mean, they do plenty of good things. The CEO, one person, has an opinion. The problem is this is what Marxism, fascism, communism, in places like China, the USSR, Cuba, that's the way they operate. They don't want opinions. They want to tell you what to believe, and then you believe it, and you shut up, and you be a good little citizen, and you go off like a worker bee, and you earn your taxes, and you give it to the government, and then the government does the bare minimum, and then pockets as much money as they can. Because if you can't offer your opinion, how can you stand up and say, whoa, wait a minute here? Here in California, where's all the tobacco money gone? Where's all the road tax money gone? Where has all this money gone? We got billions going into high-speed rail. It's just going to consultants. That's it. And, you look at this right here. And this about sums it up. Now, I mean, I think they're taking it a little out of context. And that's one thing I would say to my allies on the right. Stop taking things out of context. Stop making up lies. Stop, putting up stories that are, somewhat true. Let the fake media do the fake media thing. We don't need to play that game. If they check us, we need to have the truth on our side. But here it is. Trump was fighting DACA. The Supreme Court basically said you can't overturn it. There was all of this consternation about, how is it that we can't have. Whoa, we got a lot of reverb going on here, but I'm shooting this basically live. I'm not going to edit that out. But he wanted to get rid of DACA, so he figured out how to get rid of DACA. He's going to figure out a way to make them citizens. And that's the thing about Trump. One of his greatest strengths is that he knows he's in the middle of playing a game. He's playing the game, but he's playing the game in the best interest of people. This is the type of thing, I mean, everybody jumped to the wrong conclusions about why he was trying to get rid of DACA. It's not about the people. He wants them here legally, just like we all do. I mean, border security nowadays needs to be more about child sex slavery, drugs, counterfeit medicines, illegal weapons. I understand we make enough weapons here and they end up in the hands of other people. But there's stuff out there that we don't need getting shipped into the country. We don't need some whack job getting his hand on a freaking RPG. We don't need that. And, this guy right here, Earl Weber, is running for Congress in, I believe her name's Bass, out in L.A. He's got a job ahead of him. But this is a good guy. You can see his Twitter handle there. Just search him up. But why do we have to apologize for opinions? Actions? Okay. Hate speech? Yeah. Apologize. Don't do it in the first place, but apologize. But simply saying that somebody believes in a president, that's not grounds for a boycott, folks. It just isn't. I mean, it's probably I'm probably preaching to the choir right now, but that's the way it is. But that brings me to one of my favorite memes of the week. I like this one right here. You know, that's a Puerto Rican for Trump. And the reason is because as people get older, it doesn't really matter what nationality they are. It doesn't matter where they come from. It doesn't matter where they call home. As people get older, they start to realize that the Democrats are just full of dreams. And the dreams they've got right now are expensive. And we can't afford expensive failures right now. We need to, before you go there, the military, I'm fine. If cuts can be made to the military, that's fine. I don't mind. But not what they're talking right now. Because you're talking a lot of jobs. You know, our soldiers need to get paid more. We need to have a military. There's no two ways about it. You know, Batman isn't coming to save us. We are the Batman. You know, and just more evidence. And here's one of those things that, if people ever saw it listed, they'd be mind-boggled. You know, why are they looking to do all these things? These are those expensive dreams. Things like amnesty for all illegals. Okay, that's fine. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of illegal aliens are coming across to do nefarious things, and they're not going to register. MS-13 and all the other cartels that are south of the border. Yeah, we got cartels here. I'm not saying that's just them, but they're not going to get legal. But I'm fine with those kind of things. You know, that might make some money, but then eliminate all carbon emissions in 10 years? You know, that's going to bankrupt people. Electric cars aren't cheap. Running them isn't cheap. Public transport is, what we found out, is a health hazard nowadays. And it's not a way to live, especially in certain cities like Los Angeles where you're going to have to transfer, and walk. And working people shouldn't have to go through that. If people have vehicles or modes of transportation other than public transport, they should be allowed to take it. And you're just penalizing them. Require the Federal Reserve to end racial inequality. Okay, I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess maybe a quarter is worth 25 cents to me and only 23 cents to somebody of color. I don't really get it. You know, universal government health care, you know, that's going to bankrupt insurance companies. If they're going to be getting these flat rates, they're the people who loan money for construction, by the way. Construction loans are very popular in the insurance industry. You loan money, they build a building, then they get the mortgage or they sell the building and pay off the loan. It's a pretty safe bet. And that's how insurance companies make a lot of their money, believe it or not. You know, here we go. More zero admission stuff. You know, dual language. Both my parents were school teachers. And dual language is part of the problem. It is part of the problem. If you don't learn English, you're not going to learn enough in school. You're not. You're going to be handicapped all the way through. And then you're going to be handicapped in your life in the United States. That's just the way it is. You know, I saw a fighter today. Can't remember his name. From the Czech Republic. He won the fight. Brilliant knockout. Up-and-coming fighter. Had a mohawk. But he spoke really good English. He was from the Czech Republic. I don't understand why we can't ask the same. You know, when my grandfather came here in the 30s, you know, he dropped his Italian name and he learned English. And he didn't do that because he was forced to. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be an American. And Americans speak English. That's what it is. My own father doesn't even speak Italian because he wasn't taught it as a kid at all. It was immaterial. All this holding on to your heritage and your cultural heritage and all of that. Man, you come here and you become American. You know? So, next thing we're going to go to is this parting of Roger Stone. Kind of boring to me. The way I mean, if I was to sum it up, I guess I would say it seems like somebody got in trouble for something that didn't actually happen, and the president, fixed it. Of course, people like Adam Schiff are pissed off, but Adam Schiff is one of the last people to talk. That guy represents an area out in my area, and he's never here. He lives the rich Washington, D.C. lifestyle. But now he's got competition. Wish I could remember the name of the guy. He's got a podcast on the radio, connected to one of the radio stations here. But this guy doesn't represent you. If you live in his district, he doesn't represent you. He represents himself. And what kind of crimes has he committed? I hate to use the Scientology defense of, well, what are your crimes? But what are his crimes? This guy is embroiled in a lot of stuff right now. A lot of illegal stuff. And for him to talk about that, whatever. More nonsense out of all of them. It's just, we've boiled down to that now. It's just partisan. It doesn't matter, right or wrong. It's only if your party does it. If your party does it, you can forgive it or you can support it. But if the other party does it, you must do the opposite. What they did to Brett Kavanaugh, that bullshit of a hearing that they had with him where they had nothing. And then they just gloss over Biden. Gloss over all the rest of them. And I'm sure the Republicans do the same thing too. Bunch of rich, I was going to say rich white men, but it doesn't have to be men. It doesn't have to be white anymore. These career politicians are as slimy as they get, man. So, I'm not even sure who she is. I believe she's a reporter with OAN. I'm assuming now that I've mentioned them out loud, I'm probably going to get, have my account shut down or something, because that's the kind of nonsense world we live in now. But I liked how she fired that out, so I threw that on. There's a better picture of her. I think that says OAN on the back. I mean, either way, another beautiful conservative. Here we go. We're summing it up right here. When they do it, it's fine. When the other side does it, it isn't. And that's the kind of shit that needs to be stopped on both sides. Republicans need to start standing up to this bullshit, and they need to start owning up to it, and they need to start cleaning a house. If you're going to clean the swamp, you better clean your house too. And that is probably why Trump loses support among Republicans, the politicians. Because with Hillary, they were all going to get stinking rich off their corruption. Trump's there, and he doesn't really like it. I think he's leaving the House and the Senate alone for the most part, but he cleans house all the time. And I got to think that's probably because he's got a lot of greedy hands out there, and he slaps the greedy hands away. I don't see any other, evidence to the contrary. These are people who are making their career in politics. How do you make money like that? Look at like Pelosi's worth. Look at Feinstein's worth. Look at some of these other people's worth. And wonder, well, where are they getting all this money? Some of them have answers, but I'll tell you this, if you have a rich husband or you come from a rich family, that just makes it easier to hide all the dirty money. It really does. It's just like your room. The more dirty laundry you have, the easier it is to hide some of it. Probably not a great analogy. Earlier I was talking about my grandfather coming here and how it used to be about becoming American. And I'm sure those little pansy wastes out on the left, they're going to say, oh, they should keep their culture and blah, 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 blah. Just blah, blah. It's so fucking boring, man. It's goddamn America. It means something. It means something. If the country that a lot of these people come from was so freaking great, why are they coming here? Why? Why are they coming here? Because we offer something that their country doesn't offer. The least you could do is become American. This lady comes over here and is funneling money right off the bat, like we were just talking about. How do you make money in politics? Look at that grubby stuff. It's just grubby. Just absolutely grubby. I at all. We're going to get into her a little bit more in a minute here, but the other story, of course, is we're going back and forth with tax returns. My bet is Trump's just doing it to piss them off. Alternatively, maybe he's not worth as much as he says he is, you know. But if you look at this list here, he's lost money becoming president. He's one of the rare people who has lost money being a politician. If the numbers are to be believed, I'm not going to research it because it seems believable. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. You know, he's not taking a salary. So, you know, that's what they want. It's a big moment. See right there, big moment. Wow, big moment. We're going to get to see his taxes. You know. Meanwhile, back to her. More of her sloppy corruption. Sloppy corruption. But is that trying to be an American? Trying to rip down the whole system that you fled a country to come here and you want to rip down the system? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. The only thing I can say is that some of these freshmen with the squad or whatever the hell we call them, they're just trying to be incendiary so that people know their names and they can get book deals and they can make money after their term's up. And that's a good thing because these people need to be thrown out of office constantly. We don't need people in there for 4 decades. We don't. It doesn't work. We need turnover. We need new ideas. We saw that in Trump, and the established guard can't handle it, and they can't handle the squad either because the squad's just trying to get publicity. They're trying to get Instagram followers. You know? And they, you know, these two are exactly what I'm talking about. They want book deals. They want TV money. They know their bullshit isn't going to float with their constituents. After a while, people are going to see through this crap. I mean, some of their batshit crazy ideas won't even get past their own party because their own party's just like, nah, you're just batshit crazy, man. You know, we're living in a crazy time right now where, you know, the people who used to fuel change and all of that are just too far gone. And I'm sweating like a pig out here, man. You know, I love doing this so much. I'm out here just sweating right now. And I'm flipping through things that are going to get edited in later. And so sometimes I see them and I just go, huh. I react to them. But here's a great question. It's just from PragerU. You know, a popular vote. Because California and New York, or New York City, and LA and San Francisco, and Seattle and Portland and these other liberal meccas, Chicago, have you seen the news? Just scroll through Instagram on a political side of it, and dude, the proof is in the pudding, like they say. And the pudding has not only been served, it's been eaten. Democrats are way too soft now. They are way too appeasing of the wrong people. They are soft on crime. And that's why they need this. So that they can get their way every single time and subject the rest of us to their freaking madness. We're all going to die from criminals, but they're worried about the climate. That's a little bit of hyperbole, I admit. But that's the way it feels sometimes. But then on the other side, maybe they really are losing a lot of ground over there. Maybe that's why they're batshit crazy. Maybe that's why they're reaching for ballot fraud. Maybe that's why they're reaching for tax returns, whatever they can get. COVID, the Floyd death. Because this picture right here might be very well true. They're on life support, man. They're on life support from, you know, things when the curtains are pulled back. I don't think a lot of moderate Democrats are going to sign off on this anymore. I really don't. I really don't. You know, I mean, how do you sign off on this? I mean, they run their mouths. Okay, Trump's a racist. But now Trump's trying to fix DACA, trying to figure out how to get everybody on paper, make everybody an American citizen, get everything above board. That way we can just do away with that whole nonsense. We make them citizens. That's, you know, whatever. But meanwhile, these are the two people who are out here being the racist. And who's calling them on that? Snoop? I mean, come on. Come on. What he said was that's just absolute nonsense. I'm sorry. It's really hot out here, man. I'm sweating like crazy. I need fluids. But Snoop put up that post, man, and man, I don't get it, because I don't really, some people say that I don't understand racism. I don't really. I don't know what it's like to be judged by the color of your skin. But as short, I was kind of scrawny, kind of a weird kid. I do know what it's like to have the deck stacked against you in some things. I can relate a little bit, but I don't understand why he would resort to saying things like this. And I don't understand why Biden would say that. If I was black, man, these are people worthy of canceling. You see, that's the difference. Goya says, oh, we're blessed to have a president. Well, you disagree? Fine. You disagree. Whatever. Who cares? But this, to use a racial slur on people simply because they vote a certain way, simply because they believe in a different way than you do, that's pretty bad. Biden, who has said lots of things, didn't want his kids growing up in a jungle. I mean, come on. And then he says that. Meanwhile, we're in the midst of a lot of social unrest. And they keep yapping about certain things, ignoring certain things. And it's the people that are being ignored that really prove the point here. Yes, Floyd was murdered. He was killed. The police officer acted unjustly. But he didn't just randomly choose, Chauvin or whatever his name is, didn't just choose Floyd at random and just seek him out and kill him. Didn't do that. These people died because you organized protests that quickly got out of hand, and people died, and they kept dying, and you kept up with the protests. The Marxists, the young kids who were just bored, stuck at home, and wanted some action, so they went out and toppled a statue. BLM. You knew that we had COVID, we had riots, and we had innocent people dying. The 77, there he is, Dorn, right there in the center. And look at all those kids. You made your point, but you just kept it up. And you're still keeping it up. You put protesters out on freeways, and they die. And you don't even give a shit. You don't care. You just keep going because you're getting the money you need to get Biden elected. Nobody's standing up to this in these Democrat cities. They don't give a shit about the average citizen. They don't. Look. Right there. Trump called him, but Trump's the racist, not the liberal mayor of Seattle, who allowed that shit to happen. Again, do you want them making the decisions for the country? I'm trying to be in the middle. But what we see now is just one side just going bonkers. COVID. Nice segue. Eh? There you go. That says it all. Probable cases. Enough said. Probable cases. If they're counting that, they're counting people who are in the hospital for unrelated things as COVID hospitalizations. People right now are finally getting around to taking care of things that require slight hospitalization or operating rooms, minor surgeries, knee surgeries, things like that. And they're just reporting on the hospitals are busy. But they don't report on why, because it's all a lie. It's all a lie. That one sums it up. Right there. Fogging up here a little bit. Ooh, look at that. A little bit of fog. I can't even read that. Probably some dumb thing about something Biden's doing. Hatred for Trump, of course, ramp it up. People are happy about that. Like, what has the First Lady done? You really got a problem with what she's done, really? You know, here they are, again, trying to stick it to Trump, who's, record low unemployment, investment zones. His golf course was one of the first to allow blacks on it. But no, more batshit crazy stuff. All orchestrated by the Democrats and their media cohorts. That's what it is. Going after this couple. See, but this is what people have to realize. If you're on the Democratic side, you have to realize that when the shit hits the fan, they don't want you protected. They're going to get rid of the cops and the guns. How are you going to protect yourself? Oh, it won't happen to me? Every single person who has had some really bad shit happen to them didn't think it was going to happen to them either. That's truth. Quick message from Candace Owens. It's just amazing. Again, she was part of Snoop's C Squad, And here we go. Again, in this cancel culture we live in, you knew this was coming up. Yeah, you knew it. The truth of the matter is the report after report, they are not pissed off about it. White people see it as a bad thing, but white people should get it more than anybody. We're called white. We're not. We're many different nations. Very different. Very different. The Scots, the Greeks, the Armenians, the Italians, the Spanish. They're all white. So, how offensive is that really? You call us white, you call them redskins. You could call them reds, but that's what we call the communists now. So, you call them redskin, you call them Native American. Okay, that's the name we want, Native American. So, whatever. It's going to fall. They're going to cave. They're going to cave. Whatever. Who cares? And then Trump fires back with this. And this is what really pisses them off. Because they can't meme. The language of the youth, the next generation, is meme format. And they know it. They know it. These are the political cartoons of the day. Shots like that. That's just the way it is. They are the political cartoons of the day, and they can't do it. And the media doesn't control it. They try to ban us, but they're not. I look every single Saturday morning. I go through, and I look to see what I've collected over the week. And I have to try to search out stuff, from the left. Just that's even remotely interesting. They're just negative, angry people. They're bitter. They're bitter about the loss. But what they're really bitter about is the candidate. Apparently, they hated Hillary Clinton. And they're mad. And they should be. They wanted Bernie Sanders. They almost got Bernie Sanders again this year. But the Democratic Party steps in. So, yeah. Here's some of our memes from the right. I love this one. Only started kneeling after he got benched. And then he walked away when they weren't going to re-sign him. Lots of quarterbacks don't get re-signed. Fact of it. You're causing a commotion at your place of work. You try that. You see people, and they bellyache about it. They bellyache about people being sent home for wearing inappropriate stuff. That's the world we live in. You made it that way. You wouldn't allow somebody with a Trump hat to come in. There's managers cussing people out for wearing that stuff, saying they felt threatened. And then when it gets turned around on you, you cry about it. If something is offensive, politically motivated, just not cool, shouldn't go on at work. It's their business, man. If you own a business and you want to allow that to happen, fine. Go ahead. But you have to accept the consequences. Apparently you can't even say that you like the president and not lose business. Here we go. This sort of sums it up right there. Again, this is what the right does so well, and we need to keep it up. But we also need to remember, keep it honest, and we got to find ways to reach the people who are slightly older than us. For me, it's like, okay, but, the people that are out there in their 30s and stuff, we got to reach the 40-year-olds. We can't rely on them sort of seeing through the media bullshit. We need to reach them somehow. Subtly, tactfully, and above all, honestly. Don't get trapped in lies. Don't. It's horrible for our side. Our side, we can become more liberal, but I don't think the other side can become more conservative. That's the problem. That's why purple has to throw itself behind the Republicans. Because this is the kind of stuff that the Democrats pull. White only. It's a white only meeting to tell us how bad we are as a people. You know how insulting that is? It's reverse racism. I'm either going to talk about this at length or I'm not going to talk about it. Here's a funny one. I think this is just a ploy. Maybe suck the blacks off of Biden, maybe. I don't know. I'm assuming there's some sort of master plan. But it does feel a little bit like when Trump came on the scene and you're like, nah, he's not really going to do it. And then he did it and he got nominated. And he won. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this. I think it's a genius play because as much as I'm not a huge fan of his, I think he's always got tricks up his sleeves. Yeah, there you go. There's another one. Boom. Exactly how they don't do this. The left doesn't do this. These people are fools and they're hated. And they should be driven out of office. Well, one of them should be. One of them has been denied access to the office. And there you go. One of my favorite memes of the week right there. I'll let you soak that in for a second while I just sweat away. Wonder if my camera's picking this up. Yeah, and that's the kind of memes that I really wanted to cover. I wanted to cover Big Bird. That's really what I wanted. But yeah, that's my favorite one that I came across this week. Not my favorite political one. The previous one definitely was my favorite political one. I mean, come on. That's some good stuff. And that's what we have to keep up. If you're going to make a lie, make it funny. If you're going to tell the truth, tell the truth. Research it and be tactful as much as possible. But the only avenue we have is social media. And through social media, we can get our point across. Weirdos like me, former police officers, people like Leo Terrell, people like Candace Owens. We could reach people. We have to. Because this is really a fight. The next election, we could see a complete unraveling of the Democrats. We could see a more moderate Republican getting in there. Maybe even a Democrat that we like. But right now, the revenge factor is going to decimate this country. Because they are going to do some stupid ass shit. Mark my words, they're going to do some stupid ass shit. Copious.